Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out my YouTube channel today, The Study of Antiquity and the Middle Ages. As always, I am your host, Nick Barksdale, and today I am bringing you a very special presentation, and we are featuring a very honored guest whose appearance truly humbles us here at The Study of Antiquity and the Middle Ages. We are going to be joined today by none other than the archaeologist and ancient history documentary celebrity himself, Dr. Darius Arya. Many of you who have seen a variety of history documentaries, from Ancient Invisible Cities to Ancients Behaving Badly, will instantly be excited to see him on this channel walking us through an excellent presentation on ancient Rome. This episode is going to dive into Trajans Column. Not only will you experience seeing it, but the man himself will walk you through it.
Hey, I'm Darius Arya. I'm an archaeologist. I live in Rome, Italy. I live ancient Rome and its empire every day. You can follow me on my new YouTube channel. It's Darius Arya. And you can also follow me on my educational channel that I direct. It's ancientromelive.org, and the YouTube channel is We Dig Rome. So there are a lot of opportunities. If you follow me on social media, Darius Arya Digs, as well as the Institute at Save Rome on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, you'll be able to learn so much about the ancient world. And in particular, check out the YouTube channels because you can experience this like I do every day. Column of Trajan, one of the most magnificent monuments from ancient Rome, the entire Roman Empire. And it is really the standout, and it was the standout, in the Forum of Trajan, the last of the imperial fora structures. Forum was dedicated in 112. You had the Basilica Ulpia, like a large piazza surrounded by porticos, and in the distance, the markets of Trajan, as they're known today, out of brick, butting up against the Quirinal Hill. But this structure right here, you don't need to fantasize or reconstruct what it used to look like, because there it is. And what it is a series of 29 massive blocks of Carrara Luna marble, stacked up together. On the inside, there's a hollowed out spiral staircase that would take you to the top, where you see a viewing platform still today, capped off with the statue of Trajan. That disappears sometime in the Middle Ages, and what we have today is a statue of St. Peter's. And the exterior of that column shaft, the 100-foot column shaft as it's known, it's carved by hand, depicting countless individual scenes with 2,500 figures that narrate the Dacian Wars. So you have Trajan conquering basically modern-day Romania. His engineer-architect Apollodorus of Damascus constructs the largest bridge of antiquity, over 1 kilometer in length, over the Danube. And he brings back slaves. He brings back spoils of war, in particular gold from Dacia. And it really is extraordinary, and you can follow with the naked eye from the bottom all the way to the top to the suicide of the Dacian king Decebalus. And this was a fantastic landmark in ancient Roman times of the emperors. It remains an important landmark in medieval Rome, in Renaissance Rome. The area around the base is dug out in the time of Napoleon, and it stands here today, currently subject to a new phase of restoration.
When I look at Trajan's Column, I can't help but be in awe of its size. Would you mind walking me and the audience through the dimensions of this colossal statue that is an excellent representation of Roman history?
Column of Trajan, it's huge. How big? The shaft alone is just about 100 Roman feet. That's about our Roman foot today. And when you consider the ground level, the massive base, which once housed the ashes of Trajan and his wife Plotina, up the spiral staircase to the landing platform, and then that circular base for the statue of Trajan. The overall height is estimated at being 144 Roman feet high. We're getting close to the height of the Pantheon. We're getting close to the height of the Colosseum. So it really was a gigantic monument, looming large in everyone's experience in ancient Rome. When we look at it on coins, we see it as a plain shaft. And of course, in the construction process, for which there were utilized several, multiple cranes around here, lifting block upon block on top of each other. The largest block weighs over 70 tons. You then finish the outer surface of the column drums joined together. And then subsequently, after you've achieved this nice curve called entasis on the exterior, then you began to carve. And you carve literally following the narration. So you can see that the bandwidth of the relief work, as you spiral up to the top, it kind of undulates a little bit, because sure, they would have had plans and drawings and cartoons to go by, but a lot of the stuff was just carved freehand as you make your way around to the top, narrating what will be all the glorification of the success of the Roman army, the emperor, who appears multiple times, and we can see him standing out frequently, sometimes even lining up vertically at certain points, leading on the Roman army in sacrifice, in receiving embassies, in looking at the beheaded remains of Dacian chieftains, and so forth. So he's the real leader, the real driver in this success, and ultimately that's why it's known as Trajan's Column. It's all about Trajan leading Rome to victory.
Dr. Arya, when I look at Trajan's Column, I can't help but ask myself, what do we know about the man or men who built this wonderful and awesome monument?
People that constructed the Column of Trajan, let's say they're anonymous. I mean, potentially, when we look around for a name, we do think of Apollodoros of Damascus. Ancient sources attribute to him the baths of Trajan, the markets of Trajan, the bridge going over the Danube, quite possibly even the original design of the Pantheon, which is later completed by Hadrian. So we have that important name floating about. But the men that carved the figures in low relief all the way up to the great height of the Column of Trajan, they remain anonymous.
And for those who may not be familiar with Trajan's Column and what it represents, would you mind letting us know, what is Trajan's Column? What is it trying to tell us? What is it commemorating? And what can we learn about Roman military history and politics in this wonderful masterpiece of Roman celebration and architecture?
So it's made to celebrate Trajan, it's made to celebrate his wars. The wars are what are narrated there. We think that somewhere there would have been some published account of those wars. This is the comic book form, the graphic novel, if you will. And of course, we don't have that book anymore. We have just the narrative and these figures, which if you start to break them down, they start to be very repetitive. Oh, yet another encampment scene. Oh, yet another place to forage for food. Oh, yet another opportunity to burn down a village of the Dacians. So you do have a lot of repetition in the depictions. Still, unless it's that the togetherness of all those images that creates a unique storyline.
As I look at this column, this tribute to Roman military might and power, I can't help but notice there are so many intricate and beautifully carved designs that decorate the entirety of this pillar. For those like myself who have never seen it in person, would you describe the reliefs themselves that are carved into Trajan's Column.
The reliefs depict a number of generic scenes, such as crossing the Danube River, such as burning a village of the enemy, such as building an encampment, or making a sacrifice, or searching for food, or presenting the heads of the defeated chieftains of the Dacians. So it really is, more often than not, the army in action. And who's leading that action time and time again is going to be the Emperor Trajan. So he appears multiple times. And one thing to be said right from the get-go is that this, like so many other reliefs and statues of ancient Rome, this was painted. So a lot of the figures, like the emperor, would be even more visible than they are today. Another thing that I think we should just be in awe of, as I'm taking a look at it right now, is that the level of preservation, it's astounding, and just a bit of a miracle. Right now, scaffolding is up along the base, which depicts a big pile of weaponry, armor, shields, helmets, swords of the vanquished foe. And there's conservation work that's ongoing right now. So these are monuments that need to be taken care of. These are monuments that need to be looked after. So what it says about the people of Rome, what it says about the Roman army, is that they are inevitably successful. Going against the Romans, you're going to have this inevitable outcome of victory on the part of Rome. That's what you see time and time again. When you flip over to the later column of Marcus Aurelius, well, the story isn't so rosy, right? And the Romans don't always have the upper hand. Times changed. But here, we really have the climax. And if you think about the fullest extent of the Roman Empire, it's under Trajan. This term, not just princeps, but optimus princeps, the best emperor. So he really loomed large in people's minds in terms of being the best, and best included, to a large degree, success in war.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please check out the links in the video description below so that you can support him and everything he does, because though I do everything I can to teach you and to educate others on ancient and medieval history, he takes that a step forward, and in such an excellent, masterful way. He not only teaches you history and shows it to you, but he takes you there himself as you experience the wonderful sights to behold in ancient history by the ever so wonderful, patient, and knowledgeable Dr. Darius Arya.